Mark, first off, you have the Wolfpack here rolling here to start the season. It's their best start in regards to rankings in the history of the program. I know rankings don't mean a whole lot, but to some people they do. Where does this fit right now into your whole picture of this season?
Not much. I think we talk about it a good amount. I think it's not the highest ranking. I mean, maybe the highest ranking in United Soccer Coaches poll, but there's a very strong history and tradition here in the late '80s and early '90s.
Oh, records are meant to be broken, and obviously this season you've done that twice in regards to your attendance. You've seen 3,000 fans, and just recently 5,083, a brand new record. Talk about how important it is for this team to play in front of a home crowd of that magnitude.
It's like having a postseason game in early September. So where we, when debriefing post game, just we got to do a better job of figuring out how to communicate with each other on the field. Like the players couldn't hear a word I was saying, and that's obviously a good problem to have. We don't want fans being pissed off that get good seats or good vantage points within the game. But I mean, there's probably another, I don't know, 500 people outside of the facility on parking decks, top of building like campus rec buildings, and I think that type of buzz is only going to aid into coming to the game earlier and creating more of the warm up atmosphere that we had the other night. Was something I've never seen before. So just everything was packed and horns everywhere, and this was just during warm up, so it was a really special night.
We had a chance this season here as part of our network with the last number of years to watch the Flint City Bucks and watch what they can do during the summer. And obviously this past season, we had a chance to see Donovan Phillip and what he could do for the USL League Two. Made it all the way to a semifinal. They lost to Ballard FC, who eventually lost to Vermont in the finals. Having a player like Donovan Phillip, who had a hat trick earlier this season already, on your team. I know we talked about players here already, but having a player like him who's stepping into your environment, helping lift this team, what has he meant to this team in the early going? What do you expect from him throughout the rest of the season?
Well, he's obviously a marked guy, so he's just going to continue to draw more and more attention, which will make it harder for him to do his thing, but will create more opportunities and situations for other players to step up, and our team to be able to do that. But in terms of like him as a player, I mean that's the type of striker you want, someone who's confident, coming off of success, whatever environment he's been in, and continues to improve every day. To hit his stride yet. I think he's improved a lot since he's been here, but still has some room to grow. So, but nice to have a striker that's confident and more instantly.
If you had to define the word Wolfpack soccer in one sentence, how would you describe it?
Gritty, resilient, exciting. I know that's not a sentence, but it's a brand that is so unique. The pack itself and how it relates to just team dynamics and team culture, that environment. There's just so many things to play off of. So when you think of Wolfpack Nation in general and the support that they give all athletics here, it's just a really special thing to be a part of. And so when you're walking the halls and you're walking by other coaches that are currently in the top 10 or winning national championships, you're only inspired to want to raise your level and add to that tradition of success. So I think building something, we want to be able to play an attractive style of soccer that wins, that people can have an affinity towards, that can relate to, which is like a blue collarness, but also has some attacking flair. And it's a group sort of never gives up and always plays to the final whistle.
Yeah, no question about that. We're currently being talking with Mark Hubbard, the head coach of the NC State men's soccer program. Obviously, in your this is the 10th coach in the history of the program. Now, Mark, we were talking about on our platform a lot about the U.S. men's national team, about the World Cup coming here in 2026, and how important it is, and how we think that the soccer in this country is only going to continue to become that much more important as a result of the World Cup. How important is the World Cup to a college like NC State, and what's happening here locally in your state?
I mean, I think in our state, soccer is already in a really good spot. 6 or 7 professional teams, and obviously the ACC and the Triangle, and the type of level of college soccer programs down here in this area is very dense. A lot of big, large youth group organizations as well um, that have a lot of soccer enthusiasts already. Um, it's just for our country. I think having a good performance um, at the World Cup is it's going to bring a lot of natural attention, and I think USL League One and Championship are trying to feed off of that with some expansion and relegation promotion. Um, but it ultimately comes down to like the performance of the national team and how they do within the opportunity that they are presented. So it's been an interesting situation to follow.
I would agree with that statement. I mean, you mentioned, and when you were talking about defining the Wolf Pack and what Wolf Pack soccer was, you mentioned gritty and resilient. I would like to think that those characteristics are much needed right now in the U.S. men's national team. Maybe you might share that same sentiment. But as we continue on here and talking about this season as a whole, I'm sure you and your locker room and the men and the players in that program are talking about what success looks like. What does success look like for the Wolf Pack in 2025?
Well, we're continuing to hammer the daily habits and things that will add up over the long period of time. Whether we win or lose, we're still humble. We're still the sun rises the next day. We're still applying ourselves and looking at ourselves with a critical lens and trying to improve on what we're doing. So, I mean, I think every year we set out to achieve things that have like never been done in the program, and we're obviously off to a good start there. But I think when looking at last season, our first year with about 6 months to build the team and get ingrained, and now this is kind of our first full recruiting class. The expectations are higher, so that means Final Fours of the ACC and the College Cup are kind of what we're looking for. Ultimately, like I think this is the type of program that um, should be consistently competing for national championships, and we have the right platform, the right resources to be able to do that. So there's no excuses there. But from a realistic point of view about where the program was 2 seasons ago to last year to now, I think those are some good realistic goals to achieve, especially with them being in Cary right in our backyard.
All right, so right now I see that you're in your car, and I would imagine on some level that when you get off the plane, you get off the bus, that when you get in your car and you're off those long road trips, you have a place that you want to go grab a bite to eat. Maybe it's home, maybe it's a restaurant, local pub, local eatery. Where are you going when you get off that plane to get that? Are you going home and grabbing a home cooked meal? Or are you going someplace like a local eatery and grabbing a meal from there?
That's pretty funny. I really going home. I'm trying to be home as much as I can. So I'm a father. I have 5 children. We moved our whole family down here from New Hampshire, where we raised our family, and both my wife and I were raised and grew up. So it's been, the job's been very compared to sort of family transition and sort of starting over down here. So anytime I can, I will run right home, and that means I gotta grab some almonds and some dates or something, or a couple granola bars and stave off the hunger. Then that's what I'll do. But my guilty pleasure is what's called the train wreck at Cup of Joe here in Raleigh. So that's it's a cold brew with a couple espressos and just sort of a treat to self early morning after a workout. So extremely counterproductive to what I tell the players. But I start my day out by dehydrating myself, and but it does taste good, so I can make it up with some water throughout.
Well, Marc, we appreciate you stopping on by here this afternoon to have a conversation about NC State and what you guys are doing there this season. Currently ranked 5th in the United Soccer Coaches poll, currently 3-0-1 as well, and on your way here to much more success, we believe. Thank you very much for being a part of this morning.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, Marc.
All right.
Experience the thrill that came